Hi everybody!
Hello!
And welcome to Josiah is Right. So I am back here with Paul, and we are gonna, this is like special edition of Josiah is Right. So Paul recently went on a very special, magical trip to...
Tokyo.
Well,
Japan. So I was Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka.
So this isn't going to be Paul's travel log or anything, but this is going to be a sort of a highlight of Paul's collecting in Japan. He brought with him some of the highlights of that collecting in Japan. So let's get started with, we're just going to bring out some stuff to share with you guys.
Like treasures right over here.
Awesome.
On my side.
Grab the first thing.
So the first thing I got is, it's actually a Gundam. It's called Sinanju. And I got this at the Gundam hobby base over in Odaiba, which is like east of Tokyo. And so they have a whole Gundam, and it's a shopping mall called Diver City. They have like a gigantic Gundam, like life size, that transforms. And I was like walking through the store, I was like, I gotta get something.
Yeah, when you see something like that, you've got to commemorate having encountered like this giant transforming robot.
So this is like a model kit. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to build it right away. I haven't built it yet.
How long have you been back, just for context?
I've been back for about 3 weeks.
And how long were you there also?
I was there for 4 weeks.
So there for 4 weeks. There for a solid month. So a good long trip. Then came back just in time for Comic-Con. So Paul goes from Japan, has like 3 days, and back. Then it's Comic-Con.
Yeah, and it was jet lag.
And here we are, like, you know what? This is like 2 weeks after Comic-Con. So
yeah, and I was exhausted.
And he like, just finally has the energy to make this video. So.
Yeah, no, it was not a good idea to, bookend them together.
Those are individually exhausting trips that he stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
So
and I'm not 20 anymore. So this is really cool. It actually ended up being a Comic-Con exclusive, so I bought it before it was a Comic-Con exclusive, and I will build it soon. And it's actually pretty awesome. I don't think they have I guess they don't have it, but it's supposed to look like that. And it's actually clear colored. It's all like transparent. Yeah.
Cool.
So there's a bunch of like in the Tokyo Skytree, and in some malls they have a Pokemon Center, and that's where I got this guy. It's Squirtle.
And by the way, before we did this video, as I was setting up, behind you guys where the camera is, the lights and things, and Penny always hangs out with me, and she was very much reaching in the bag trying to grab that in particular.
Squirtle.
So of course, Penny would be all about Squirtle. But anyway, explain a little bit about...
Oh yeah, so they have Pokemon centers that are just like all Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like, the whole store is just Pokemon stuff, like little toys and like stuffed animals and things like that. And I was always like, what's my favorite Pokemon? And I saw Squirtle, and I just had to have him because he's adorable. And I love his raspy voice, when he comes in, like, Squirtle!
Yeah, he's kind of like the equivalent of anyone who's seen the Captain N cartoon. The
Mega Man.
On that, he's like, Mega Man. I was like, the Squirtle, but like,
hey Mario,
not exactly,
Dr. Wily.
Yeah.
He's like a surly cowboy or something for some reason.
And he's green.
But yeah, there's Squirtle.
So there's Squirtle. So
in the Pokemon Center,
you can see the awesome, and tags in Japanese are always more interesting.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, what is going on there?
I got a Comic-Con exclusive Optimus Prime. It's like Super 7 thing, but it has Japanese on it, and it makes it like seem like it's better, but it's just... graphically, it just looks more appealing. So there we have Squirtle. And Paul said I get to keep this stuff after this video.
Oh, no.
What a jerk. Paul did give me some stuff, which I did. Whenever we cross the paths, like, technically you can see a little bit of it on the Mega Man shelf up there. There's little Mega Mans that he gave, so.
Okay.
This is pretty awesome. And I got to play with this. Paul brought it over last week, so we experienced it. Paul fell asleep while I was playing it.
So they restocked the NES Classic over here, but they also
I got.
Yeah.
And then Paul found a way to Paul found a way to one-up me.
So she said that.
So it is awesome. So I got to play it. Like I said, Paul. It's cool to see some of the games are the same.
It's tiny.
Some of the games are not. The only and giant major flaw is the tiny controller. Yeah.
Like, just
this is penny size. Like this is like I had her holding it, and it's perfectly proportional to a baby who is 1.5 years old. Penny is a 1.5-year-old toddler. This is scaled perfectly to her. But what they wanted to do is, as you can see here, it clicks in perfectly inside, like I guess the original did. So this replicates that, just like the NES Classic and the SNES Classic sort of replicate that experience. It does the same thing. And so the controllers are permanently inside there, and plus that. So you have really short cords to really tiny controllers.
They're even shorter than the
NES
even
shorter
cords.
than the NES Classic cords, which are really short. So, but anyway, it's awesome. It was really fun to play it. I played games that I had no idea what they were, and we're going to play it more later on. And there's plenty of games that he was telling me about that I haven't played. So this is really cool.
The story behind that is they actually have Toys R Us in Japan.
Still.
Like all over the place.
Like
and
now.
they're like busy.
Yeah.
You know? It's all like how they were discounting them like crazy and there's barely anybody in there. No, they're still busy. They're probably going to be there for a number of years. I actually was at a mall in Osaka, and they had the whole ticketing system where you get a ticket and you go to the register and they give you the game or and this the Famicom Classic. So I bought it, and mainly I was looking at the lineup. The lineup is actually a little bit different. Like they have Gradius and Super C or Super Contra, the Super Mario 1, 2, and 3, and Zelda. But they had a game called Solomon's Key that I played when I was a kid, and it was kind of an obscure game. And I had it on there. I was like,
so it's on here.
Oh, cool. And they also have River City Ransom, which I used to like to play when I was a kid. So the fact that they had it on there, I was like, oh man, I have to purchase it. And so yeah, I bought it and brought it back with me.
Here we have.
I was tempted to get the Super Famicom Classic, but they didn't have like some of the key games like Earthbound. Like the lineup wasn't actually as good as the SNES Classic. But yeah, there you go. The Famicom from Toys R Us.
From Toys R Us. So. That's probably the most impressive part of this whole story.
In Akihabara, they have a bunch of like collectors stores, and like you'll have a collector put up a display case, and they have this ticketing the system where you write in the number, for the window, and then the number of the toy. And you give it to the cashier, and they take it out of the glass box for you. But like, there's people that sell their own collection in these stores.
It's almost like consignment, probably.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like that,
yeah. So what I got here was I found this beneath a bunch of other like statues of like Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that. But it's a Kaneda on the motorcycle,
which is awesome.
And there you go. And it's just plastic, but it looks like the way they detail the metal and everything looks pretty good.
Yeah, and it's like, it feels like when you hold it, it like feels heavier than, I don't know, like if this was an American equivalent, it feels not as cheap as it would be, which is probably not necessarily the case, but it just, I don't know, it's like, because it's not metal, but it feels heavier than plastic would be, if that makes sense. So,
yeah. But
it's awesome.
Over there they have a bunch of these arcades called like Tato Game Station. They have Sega, and they have these like crane games where you go and you can pick up like a statue in a box. And I actually got pretty good at them, so like I actually brought a whole bunch, but awesome. I just gave a sample of what they have
just some
here.
of what he won.
So here's one of them. It's actually Goku on Nimbus. That's a sample of one. I actually brought, because they had him as a kid, and I'm gonna have it fly over.
He's facing us, but
yeah. There you go. There you go.
So
there you go.
Dramatic special effects we have here, so you can just see close up of the figure,
Kid
the
Goku.
statue. But you can just see, and then this one, by the way, that hair is crazy sharp. Like, if you touch it, you will like bleed from your fingers, which is kind of awesome. And again, really heavy. Like it feels like it's like some kind of weird metal hybrid plastic. I swear, because it's like the statue.
Resin.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like very
resin.
heavy.
It's like heavier than like just about anything I could point to on my shelf behind you.
It was like, oh, whoops.
You just broke it.
This I was like, oh, I wonder if I could get this. It came in like a really big box, but it's I don't know what the name of the character is, but it's
obviously this would need a big box.
From Dragon Quest. It's this knight, and he has a little octopus guy next
So
to him.
this guy's like comes off his shoulders.
Yeah, it's
in and out.
articulated.
Like yeah, it's got a lot of movement. And this guy's actually like this guy's actually like probably lighter than that. Like he feels much more hollow and light than this. It's just amazing how the difference.
They have a thing called the Square Enix Cafe, and so every time Square Enix is about to release a new game, they theme the whole cafe the most recent release that they're gonna. So at the time they have Octopath Traveler, which I guess was just released, I think July 13th or so. And while I was there, I bought the tote bag, and then here's all the Japanese and everything. I haven't opened it yet because I'm really actually excited about it. I don't have a Switch myself, but when I buy one, I totally want to buy this game. The cool thing about that game is like it's old, like it's kind of like the old 16-bit RPGs, but then it's like 2.5D or like 3D. Like you could walk into the background and the foreground. Mm-hmm. So it has like this storybook kind of. Cool. Totally won me over though when I was just like they had some weird things like octopus balls and like fizzy drinks that look like potions, and I was just tired from like walking all over Tokyo that day, and I was just like sitting down and I was just eating, and I was like, hey, this game. And they showed footage of the game. I was like, well, this game looks actually pretty cool. So definitely when I buy Switch, I will buy that game. And then
he will
I got this tote
open
bag.
the bag and put stuff in it.
Yeah, and I'm weird about because I really like tote bags. I collect tote bags, and so eventually I'll open it and use it. But there's Octopath Traveler. They have a place called Tower Records.
More businesses have gone out of business here that are still going strong in Japan, apparently.
Yeah, I think it went out of business like in 2009. Or,
yeah, it's been a while. I remember.
And when I was a kid, I used to go to Tower Records all the time. My dad would take me, and he'd go to the book store and just kind of like look at all the different books. But it's something I really associate with like my childhood. And so when I was there, I was like, oh my god, they still have it.
Yeah.
So I bought a Tower Records bag.
A Tower Records tote bag.
Like a tote bag. And then on the back they have their mantra, which is no music, no life. Which I think is pretty cool. It's a little, I don't know.
When you go out of business, it makes it probably depressing.
Yeah.
No life. It's just, now their slogan is no life. But at least in the United States.
But
no life.
Yeah, they had the, so the Tower Records was like, 7 stories, all filled with CDs.
A tower.
Yeah, it was actually like a tower, and it wasn't filled with records, but CDs. And people actually, the funny thing about Japan is like it's very retro, but also futuristic. Like in my hotel, they had a little like robot that you could sign in and check into your hotel. But then there's a lot of people that still buy CDs and DVDs. They have whole stores filled with them.
Yeah.
And they're not really into like downloading and things like that, which I think is pretty cool. They also smoke a lot, so that's kind of retro. It's very like non-smoking sections.
It's very 1960s. Like we joke like we were talking about this before. It's almost like I've never been to Japan, but it's almost like it's like someone's 1960s vision of the future. So you still have like certain things that are like analog and you hang on to, but yet there's these futuristic things here and there that like kind of like mix in. So.
Yeah, well it is kind of, and everybody dresses like in suits, kind of like Mad Men. And then like Back to the Future too. If you see in the back, they have the laser discs.
Yeah.
Recycled or whatever. It's kind of like that. But another thing. Oh, and as part of that cafe, they had these coasters. I probably should have mentioned that. But they had these coasters.
So jumping back to the Square.
Jumping back to the Octopath Traveler, they had these coasters.
The Square Enix Cafe here.
And each one had a character. So there's that. I don't know what the name of the character is, but. And then you can see right there, that's the way the game looks on the bottom. It's like 16-bit style. So yeah, I got a couple of those.
Cool.
It's pretty cool. I guess you could
even.
Or
I can't possibly edit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can.
But you can see also here just the way that the cases are like it's like the coffee, it's like the cafe style, the square, and then just, even like the packaging is nice on a coaster.
Yeah.
A coaster that has
and like if you order
exquisite packaging, it's like like this is the most beautifully packaged coaster I've ever seen.
Yeah, I love these coasters. Yeah, I probably shouldn't. Man, these.
Yeah, you can't that's the thing. You can't use this stuff, but you want to use this stuff.
Yeah, it's a conundrum.
That's the
sure.
the conundrum of the collector, isn't it? It's like everything's awesome, but I don't want to touch it.
they gave me a poster,
Oh, cool.
and he's like, the guy was like, hey, I have something for you, and like really like monotone, and I was like, oh my god, what, am I in trouble?
Yeah.
He was like, no, here's a poster for you. Thank you for patronizing our cafe.
He does the same thing to everyone, but like in this way that makes it seem like he's gonna deal you drugs or something.
Yeah, no, I was like, it was kind of ominous.
Yeah.
But there's that, and then I have another coaster. I like this. Actually, I went to Tokyo Disneyland.
So Tokyo Disneyland, and Paul did.
did
That was the
see
one place that Judy had requests for Paul. So Judy had a few things from there, including myself, which is it on the shelf up here? Yes. Above me, next to the Transformers, right there, you'll see a little Han Solo in carbonite. So it's die cast. So he got me that from Tokyo, Japan. Got Judy a few things. She got her a hamburger case thing and this mug, and she did some research and she knew what she wanted. She knew she wanted this burger bag forever, a long time ago. So it's like a Mickey Mouse ears burger.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
She really liked that.
I was thinking of buying one myself.
It's like basically like a mini purse / like card holder, so you can have like your pass to go to Disneyland or whatever.
So there's this coaster. I just bought a random drink and it came with this coaster, wrapped up, and I kind of don't want to use it, but I kind of do.
Yeah. And this one's like different, by the way. It's almost like it's like sort of rubbery.
Yeah.
Like different, like the other ones are like that. Like this one, I almost would more likely to use because it feels like it'd be more resilient. The other ones are that paper. So if you had a drink that had condensation, those things are ruined. You know what I mean?
I think those ones.
Like those. This one I think would withstand some stuff. Like this is really cool. This is. Mickey and Minnie they have more fun in Japan apparently.
So, Bandai and Tamashii Nations, they have these super articulated figures that are like in 12th scale. I think these just came out here like a couple days ago, but I had got them a little bit before. But it's Infinity War Star-Lord.
So we have
from
Star-Lord.
SH Figure Arts. And I also have Captain America.
Captain America,
Ooh,
with this lovely Infinity War beard.
Yeah. So there you go. I haven't had a chance to open them yet, but there you go.
So serious, Captain America.
Yeah, it's really.
It's not like half the universe is going to disappear.
And some of them, when they released it here, they have all these like battle damage effects or something. Like they have like.
Oh really?
Like smoke effects, and so it drives up the price.
I haven't really looked at these two. That's why I'm kind of like looking at them now. Most of the stuff I looked at before we shot the video.
Oh my gosh! What have you done? And then along with that, they also have a really great Star Wars figures, also from SH Figure Arts. So my favorite of the bunch, I would say, is the Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi.
Awesome. Actually, I'll flip to the back so you can see that windswept hair, Luke.
Actually, I can take it. If you want to show these other ones, and I'll take it out.
Sure.
So
and then we have, as he's gonna pop that guy out of the box. So he's already opened this. So you have this little Han Solo, or Han, depending on who's saying the name, and then another Luke. And these sculpts on Luke actually are generally pretty good. Like looking at this one, this is pretty good too. But that one is really, really, really good. As it's the loudest box.
Yeah, it's the worst sound.
Everything flew out on my carpet.
Oh, did it?
It's on a Millennium Falcon carpet, the lightsaber.
Okay, so here's the windswept head sculpt.
So you can get a good look at that.
Okay, so here you go. Here's the
there
windswept.
Now you can get a good
and you know what? It is like the best sculpt I've seen on Jedi Luke.
So, but anyway, they're great. They look awesome. The sculpts generally are good, but Luke in particular is it's a beautiful figure.
And then there's another. I love Boba Fett.
He's the only person that likes Boba Fett. Such an obscure character. No one likes Boba Fett.
This is to me like probably. I was so excited to get this because this is long sold out here. But like, there's a lot of websites that would actually import this, but I found it there at a pretty good price. It's Boba Fett. It's the Mafex Boba Fett, and again, it's also in
pretty awesome
1/12 scale, and it's the Empire Strikes Back version. I haven't had the guts to open it yet because I wanted to, I don't know, save it for a rainy day or something. But yeah, no, I love this Boba Fett right here.
It's really, really cool.
This is probably one of my favorite things I got from Japan, and I'm so excited. But I think actually we're gonna end the video with the best thing, my favorite thing from Japan.
Well, arguably the best, but it probably is. And it's funny because I would probably agree with Paul on this one for sure. Not that we generally disagree on these things, but I think this is just without a doubt. Are we up to that? Is that what's left?
Oh no, there's
we still got more.
things.
So we'll build to that. We'll build to that.
So another SH figure arts. I really like the articulation with all these figures. Like they have the really good sculpting. Facial sculpts are really well done, and the articulation is really good. For years, they always had this character as an exclusive at Comic-Con. I think 2 years ago they had him as just in his regular gi, and then they had him like doing a Kamehameha. But it's Goku from Dragon Ball Z, and I like how he's like friendly and waving, like "Hey guys." But yeah, this is Goku, and they released in Japan. It was actually all sold out with most of the stores. I luckily got one in the Ginza area of Tokyo. It's called Hakukinen Toy Park. And they had one, and I bought it, and I was like, oh my god!
And this one was one that then became a Comic-Con exclusive, right?
Oh yeah, and then eventually they sold this at Comic-Con as well.
This year, 2018, as we record and do all this. So summer 2018 here, this was, Paul got it in Japan before everyone else got it in Comic-Con.
Yeah, and they actually they're doing some tour, and so when you buy any product from them, they give you like the pole that he has. So when I was there, I bought like Krillin and Cell, and I got the pole.
Yeah. So by the way, what Paul is showing you is maybe half of everything you got.
Yeah, this is just a sample.
This is a lot of stuff we've already gone through. So yeah. I'm running out of space just to put these things around me. Like you can see, it's a pile of stuff here, and So
Josiah made the joke like, "Oh, you're probably gonna have to buy another suitcase," and I actually
before he went, because we requested a couple things, as I said, Judy from specifically Tokyo Disney, and so he did have to buy another suitcase.
In fact, I brought an extra one, filled that one up, and then I had to buy another one just to.
So several extra suitcases later.
Yeah.
Here we are. And he only brought half of that with him here.
So, there's a store called Toy Sapiens. It's like the Hot Toys flagship store in Tokyo, and they have this little thing called Cos Babies. I got the Avengers Infinity War Loki Cos Baby, and it's like a little bobblehead. So I bought that.
I didn't even look at this one earlier. So again, most of the things I saw, I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that was in there. So look how cute you are, Loki. Too bad you're dead.
And another one is Medicom makes these little statues of various characters, and what they had, I didn't know they had any licensed stuff of this, but they actually have Wallace and Gromit.
That's pretty cool.
So when I opened it, this leg right here broke off because it's kind of tiny, so I had to fix it. But yeah, it's like Wallace from Wallace
and Gromit. If I break it, I'm glad to know it's already broken, so I won't feel bad. So you can see in his wacky pants here.
And then here's the whole collection of all the different ones. I bought the other one in the middle too, where it has Wallace and Gromit together. But I just wanted to show you guys, just one of the figures, and it's really well detailed, very well painted.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It almost looks like straight out of the cartoon.
I mean, from a distance, it almost looks like I could it doesn't move obviously, but I could articulate this to animate.
And so I'm a really big fan of Kill Bill. I actually got to eat at the restaurant that inspired Kill Bill, or the House of Blue Leaves, called Gunpachi Nishizabu. Great steak place, and while I was there, I found this old NECA The Bride figure, and it was pretty huge, so I just bought it because to kind of commemorate Japan. And then so you see right here, you can actually put the base together, and so yeah.
You just dump a bucket of blood on top.
Yeah.
That's the next step. You just blood.
So we're almost at the end here, but everywhere they have these vending machines called Gachapon, and so you could buy a bunch of action figures, but little tiny figures. There's a Gudetama. Here's just a sample of him right there.
He's a lazy egg.
Lazy egg.
Lazy egg.
But the thing that I got most excited about is when I was a kid, they had the muscle figures, and they haven't been around for like decades, except for like they started to do the Master
Yeah, it's
Universe.
like Super Sevens and Master of the Universe and now Alien and some other licenses that they've done, and even like Iron Maiden ones, I think, or something like that.
So the funny thing is, they actually are still alive and well in Japan. The Kinukumon.
What we're gonna do here is we're gonna cut to a shot so you get a proper view. But this case did not come to you from Japan, but it came to you from Target. But this is full of those small collectibles. So that's what you see here. And explain, like, these are in vending machines, right?
Yeah, they're all in vending machines.
So these all came in little eggs. And
Yeah.
of course, the eggs didn't return from Japan because look at all this stuff. So imagine how much space that would have taken up with those eggs in it. And the cool thing was, because it's a vending machine, it's like that. It's basically random. Oh, sorry. It's basically random. All Paul's duplicates, especially the muscle figures, I have my own collection. And again, and now that this is locked, I'll kind of pick it up. So that's muscle. Like basically this entire half is all the muscle. And there's some other things in here, Beavis and Butthead, and like different video game stuff. The Gudetama he showed you. But the thing is, it's just how much he has. I have a lot from him because of the duplicates, and he has a ton, and I have a lot. Like, I'm not. It's just funny, like, because of that vending machine. So I'm so glad Paul became addicted to these in Japan, and his crack addiction of vending machine slots. It's like a slot machine. What am I gonna get? What am I gonna get?
Yeah, it was so bad. Like every time I saw one, I would try to get new ones because I tried to complete the set.
Yeah.
And they always had different colors and things like that. And like the thing is, like, I haven't been around like muscle figures since I was like 5 years old.
Yeah, other than like you said, the few, and those are different because these are legit the muscle figures. Like these guys are like, oh, it's that brick wall guy and whatever else these characters that we actually played with. So these are the same things that they're current in Japan. So you have muscle figures, Tower Records, Toys R Us, stuff that's like defunct here. In Japan, it's all the rage. It's like, I don't know that muscle figures are all the rage, it's fair to say, but they're definitely still something that people are into, and still enough that you'll find them in vending machines.
Well, they have whole stores that just sell muscle stuff. It's still very popular. Like I was in Osaka, and I went to the Sujintaku Tower over, and they had on the top floor they had like a muscle statue, and he's like smiling, or Kinukumon statue, and he's like smiling.
We'll say muscle for our purposes.
Yeah, muscle. But yeah, I mean, it's still around.
Yeah.
And every time I would find a vending machine, I would just buy more, and it was like 200 yen each, and I would just
awesome.
So
it's like I said, like this quadrant, like about half of this, and these are other vending. This is all like vending machine stuff in here. So including some Mega Man stuff that he got, that he gave me some of the duplicates as well, which are awesome. They're up there. It's cool because they're like perfectly in scale to my kid robots, so they fit nicely up there.
This is the last thing.
So we're finally on. So we kind of teased this a little bit earlier. This is Paul and I both agree that this is the coolest thing.
Okay.
And go ahead.
So, this movie is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's Blade Runner. They never have any license anything.
Yeah, you can't find much.
And it is a in-scale spinner. Right there, if you see that. And it's included with the Blu-ray set.
So that's the cool thing. So in the States, they had the fancy Blu-ray set, which was that case, right? Like the briefcase thing.
Oh yeah,
and that was the equivalent.
Origami unicorn and stuff like that.
But there was one that came with like a small die-cast spinner, right?
Yeah, it included a small spinner.
Yeah, but
maybe in scale with the like the small Hot Wheels or something.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a Hot Wheel size spinner.
And
like, and the case was probably somewhere around close to this size, right? Like.
I have the Blu-ray.
Yeah,
if you want to do a video about it.
No, yeah, I remember I didn't buy it. I kind of wish I had. And Paul obviously has that version, but this just destroys that, and that was really cool. But this is just amazing. Like, I want to find like an action figure that can fit in there. It's like it's a little bit smaller than a GI Joe. It's like this is like almost in scale like Exo Squad.
Yeah,
like,
and it's actually
figure.
made by Medicom. If you look right there, and it's like really well detailed. All the decals are and everything. If you want to see, like, it's an amazing piece. When I saw this on the show, I'm like, holy crap!
Yeah,
like,
cool.
I need this, and so this is my favorite souvenir from Japan. I'm not sure if I'm going to open it because it's pretty amazing. Probably just keep it on my shelf.
This you have to.
I think I'll probably fly it around with my hand or something. I really love it.
But he's not gonna open it, so he'll fly it around like he's like,
Yeah, absolutely.
Vroom, vroom,
Right
shroom, or something. My Blade Runner sound effects are terrible. Vroom, vroom, shroom. I've never seen the movie, no. But he's gonna get like a lot of lens flares,
Yeah.
flames in the background. We just went to LA.
Close
Actually,
up the
we went to
eyes.
LA earlier, and on the way between Orange County, where I live, and Paul will live in Long Beach, in LA, there's this very Blade Runner-esque factory. So that when you drive by it at night, it has plumes of fire that shoot out, which is very much the Blade Runner-esque skyline of LA. So we're gonna just drive down the 405 freeway and hold this in the sky, and we'll like shoot on the background just that. So that's the secret. That's how they really made Blade Runner. They didn't tell you that. They just drove down the 405 for a while.
The handout.
Yeah, and just ran it through the camera like 25 times till the film ripped up, stuff like that. But anyway, this is, I agree, this is the coolest thing that Japan has ever given to America. Right here. So
yeah. So that's my
that is
collection.
Paul in Japan.
Yeah. Some other things, but I bought some hot toys and stuff like that. But this is my favorite thing. This is the best thing from Japan that I bought, I think. But yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for bringing all this stuff. You can, behind, like, if you look to my left, look to my right, between us, this stuff is everywhere. There's Pikachu, Squirtle, and on, and it's awesome stuff. And this is half of what he got, and I appreciate that Paul gave me stuff, and like, you know, the stuff that we requested from Japan. Or, I'm sorry, from Disneyland over there, from Tokyo Disney, and from just stuff I didn't expect, like the muscle. Like he was gonna like text a picture of it, but he decided not to surprise me. So that when I because he brought it last week, he brought the ones that he gave to me, so that I'd be surprised when he he had this brown. It was like a brown bag full of these figures, like not as many as he had, but like at least a quarter of that, you know, if not more. It's a lot. He gave me a lot, so I appreciate that.
Pictures. I was like, oh my god, they have muscle here, and I was like about to send it to Josiah, and I was like, oh my god, I need to surprise him.
It'll be better in person.
Yeah, I gotta.
Which is awesome. I appreciate that.
So, and then I almost posted something on Instagram also. And like we follow each other on Instagram. Like, oh no, I should.
Yeah.
And then so I'm really.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's awesome. So that's it.
Yeah,
Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know if you've ever done international collecting. Paul did it on a scale that only Paul can do it on. I would love to try. Like we have to have an extra suitcase for Penny now, so that we can we need an extra suitcase for collecting. So I've always been motivated and want to go to Japan. As an Akita owner, I want to go to Japan, that alone. I mean, my dog is named for this movie right here, so like I want to go to Japan. That's another reason. Mm-hmm. But all of this stuff just adds to the I want to go to Japan. So
you should.
If you've been, share your experiences. If you haven't, what would you like to see when you went there? This is again just focusing on the collecting, but if you're an Akita fan, I'm sure you'd like to see the Hachi statue. And yeah, Judy actually has seen it before we were married. So thank you guys once again.
Yeah,
again, like, subscribe, and comment, and we will see you in Tokyo. Or hopefully we will, right?
Yeah.
Bye guys. Yes. I need to learn some Japanese before I would go. Thanks guys.